So not too long ago, I made a video putting some rear motor mount bushings on the Elantra N to help out with the wheel hop and to improve 0 to 60 time. Those bushings were from Powerflex, and Powerflex reached out to me and they told me they had a couple more things that will help with that even more. So they sent out a couple bushings and inserts to me that I'm going to show you that we're going to install on the Elantra N today, and I'm going to show you a quick install video, and then we'll do some more testing at the end. So now to go over everything that we got here, these are the rear torque mount bushings that we already replaced. So these are the stock ones that we have on the table here. What they also sent over to us, this is the transmission mount insert, as well as a new bracket, and this is an upper engine mount insert as well. So these are going to help with wheel hop and 0 to 60 time and increased throttle response as well. So this is everything we got. This is going to be on the wheel well on the driver's side, and this is going to be on the top of the motor. So I'm going to show you quickly how to install these. If you want to see how to do the rear motor mount bushings, I'll put a link in the description below on how to do those on another video. But for now, let's get to putting these on the car, and then we'll do some testing afterwards. So we're going to start with the transmission mount insert. What you guys need to do is lift the driver's side of the vehicle up, take the driver front wheel off, and also support the transmission from underneath. This is very important, and you'll see why here in a second. Now going back to the wheel well, take this little plastic cover off, get a 14mm socket. I used air tools to remove them, just don't use the air tools to put them back on. Now you'll also see after I'm taking this second bolt out, the transmission tends to drop a little bit, and that's just because I didn't have it supported all that well. So I went back underneath the vehicle, and you'll see the transmission lifting back up here as I went back underneath and lifted the jack down there. Now getting these bolts out is pretty easy once it's all level, and this is going to be your new insert for the transmission mount. You're going to slide it in there just the way you see on screen. It's very easy to do. You probably don't even need to add any grease. They do recommend doing it, so I did so per their recommendations. Now after you get this in here, you're going to use the new supplied bracket that's given to you by Powerflex. You are not replacing anything with this. This is added on there so that way that insert does not come out. You're going to go ahead and take the OEM bolts, which again, those are 14mm, tighten them up as much as you can by hand, and then we're going to torque them down to 75 foot-pounds. All right, after you get that torqued down, put the plastic cover back on, put the wheel back on. We're going to move over to the other side. I lifted it up from the passenger side for the engine mount insert, supported the engine from underneath with a block of wood and a jack, and then we're going to go ahead and remove this one nut here. It's a 17mm. I was able to break it loose without an air tool, and we're just going to go ahead and take this off and pretty much just put the new bushing on here. So here's your new bushing. We're just going to go ahead and slide this over that bolt, make sure it's flush with the engine mount, and then we're going to take our insert and make sure it's flush with the bushing itself, and take your OEM nut, tighten it up as much as you can by hand. Get your torque wrench, and again, we're going to tighten this down to 75 foot-pounds. Let's get her back on the ground and do some testing. So I know what a lot of you guys are looking for are numbers and how they compare to stock, and even after I put the rear motor mount bushings on. Well, I can say from stock to the bushings to these inserts, over time, it actually has improved by averages. Now, these numbers don't mean everything. These are just on the street. These are with, no other modifications technically done to the vehicle as far as performance goes. But I do still think you actually see that performance gains there just because we're removing any wheel hop from the vehicle. I mean, this car feels so planted to the ground now. You do get a little bit of noise and vibration on the inside of the car, but honestly, nothing that I even recognize unless I'm looking for it. But overall, I have to say these are well worth the money. These are far less than a lot of other modifications you could do for your Elantra N when it comes to performance, and I think it's the first thing you really should do. Again, a huge shout out to Powerflex. Thank you guys for sending these inserts out to me and allowing me to share these products with all of my viewers. And if you guys are interested in these bushings, I'll put a link to each one of these in the description below, as well as a link to the video of me installing the rear motor mount bushings. Again, just as a final thought, these are more than worth it. Each of these products are less than 50 bucks a piece. Some of them are even less than $40, and they're not that hard to install. Or even if you decide to take them to a shop to get them installed, I think a little bit of labor would actually be worth it just for the driving experience that you get, especially if you like to do launching or 0 to 60 times, or even taking it to the quarter-mile track, which I definitely love doing, which I'll be excited to see what kind of difference we'll be getting at the quarter mile next year. That's going to be all for today's video. I got a sneak peek of what we got coming for the next video, which will be coming out in a couple days. So make sure you guys keep your post notifications turned on. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed today's video, and also subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys again in a few days.